Hey Virgo, welcome back to the channel. I just sat down with my deck, and the energy coming through for you right now is absolutely incredible. This reading is going to be different because your higher self has some really important messages to share with you. And honestly, I got chills multiple times while doing this spread. So grab your coffee or tea, get comfortable, and let me share what came through for you. Before we dive into the cards, I want you to know that this reading is all about truth and clarity. Your higher self is stepping forward right now because there are things you need to understand, things that have been building up for a while, and it is finally time for everything to make sense. The universe has been preparing you for this moment, and the cards are here to guide you through what is coming next. All right, so I am pulling cards specifically from your higher self, asking what you need to know right now, what truths are ready to be revealed, and what clarity is coming your way. The energy feels both gentle and powerful at the same time, like your higher self is saying, we have been waiting for you to be ready for this conversation. The first card I pulled for you is the Two of Swords, and Virgo, this card is showing me that you have been in a state of decision paralysis. You know that feeling when you have two equally important choices in front of you and you just freeze because you are terrified of making the wrong move? That is exactly what this card is reflecting back to you. Your higher self wants you to know that this period of being stuck, of refusing to choose, of keeping yourself in limbo, it has served its purpose, but now it is time to remove the blindfold. What I find really interesting about the Two of Swords appearing first is that it is not just about indecision. It is about self-imposed blindness. You have been avoiding looking at something directly because part of you knows that once you see it clearly, you cannot unsee it, and that means you will have to act. Your higher self is gently but firmly telling you that the time for avoidance is over. The truth you have been skirting around, the reality you have been trying not to acknowledge, it needs to be faced now. This card often comes up when someone has been intellectualizing their emotions rather than actually feeling them. Virgo, you are so good at analyzing everything, at breaking situations down into logical components. But sometimes that analytical mind of yours becomes a defense mechanism. You think your way around feelings instead of through them. Your higher self is saying that the clarity you are seeking will not come from more thinking. It will come from finally allowing yourself to acknowledge what your heart has known all along. There is also something here about a stalemate situation. Maybe you have been waiting for someone else to make the first move, or perhaps you have been hoping that if you just wait long enough, the situation will resolve itself. But your higher self is showing you that you are the one who needs to take action. The power has always been in your hands. The moment you decide to lower those swords, to remove that blindfold, to actually look at what is in front of you, everything will begin to shift. I am also picking up that this decision you have been avoiding is not actually as complicated as you have made it out to be in your mind. You have been creating elaborate scenarios about all the things that could go wrong, all the ways this could blow up. But your higher self is telling you that the truth is actually much simpler than you think. Sometimes we complicate things because complexity feels safer than simplicity. If it is complicated, we have an excuse to not move forward. But the real answer is probably much more straightforward than you have been allowing yourself to believe. The next card that came through is the Queen of Cups. And oh Virgo, this is such a beautiful confirmation. Your higher self is showing you that the path forward requires you to lead with emotional intelligence and intuition, not just logic. This queen is deeply connected to her feelings, and she trusts her intuitive knowing. She does not second-guess her emotional truth. She honors it and moves from that place of deep inner knowing. What your higher self is revealing here is that you have been undervaluing your emotional wisdom. As an earth sign, you naturally gravitate toward what is practical and tangible, but right now you are being called to trust the whispers of your heart. The Queen of Cups is not emotional in a chaotic way. She is emotionally mature. She can hold space for complex feelings without being overwhelmed by them. She can be compassionate without losing herself. This is the energy you are being asked to embody right now. There is something really specific coming through about a relationship or connection in your life. The Queen of Cups suggests that someone, possibly you, needs to approach a situation with more emotional honesty and vulnerability. There has been a lot of guardedness, a lot of walls up, a lot of playing it safe. Your higher self is saying that real connection, real intimacy, real progress cannot happen while everyone is still wearing armor. Someone needs to be brave enough to show up authentically. And Virgo, I think that someone is you. This card is also about creative and intuitive gifts. Your higher self wants you to know that you have a deep well of intuition that you have not been fully tapping into. You might dismiss your gut feelings as irrational or not evidence-based enough, but your higher self is telling you that your intuition is a form of intelligence. It picks up on subtle cues that your conscious mind misses. It synthesizes information in ways that pure logic cannot. The clarity you are seeking will come partly through learning to trust these intuitive hits. I am also getting that the Queen of Cups is asking you to be more compassionate with yourself. You have been really hard on yourself lately, holding yourself to impossible standards, criticizing yourself for not having everything figured out. Your higher self is wrapping you in this loving, nurturing energy and saying you are allowed to be a work in progress. You are allowed to not have all the answers. You are allowed to be figuring things out as you go. The Queen of Cups knows that emotional growth is not linear, and she gives herself grace for the messy middle parts of transformation. There is also a message here about healing. The Queen of Cups is a healer, both of herself and others. Your higher self is indicating that part of your journey right now involves healing old emotional wounds. Maybe childhood patterns, maybe past relationship trauma, maybe familial conditioning about how emotions should or should not be expressed. You are in a phase where you get to rewrite those old stories and develop a healthier, more authentic relationship with your emotional self. The third card is the Empress and Virgo. This is where things get really powerful. The Empress is about abundance, creativity, nurturing, and bringing things into being. Your higher self is telling you that you are entering a phase of manifestation and growth. The period of stagnation is ending. The time of waiting is complete. You are moving into a season of blossoming. What I love about the Empress showing up in this reading is that she represents the divine feminine energy of creation. Not just creating projects or material things, but creating your life according to your true desires. Your higher self is giving you permission to want what you want, to desire what you desire, to stop shrinking your dreams down to what feels practical or reasonable. The Empress says, I want it all, and I am going to nurture it into existence. She does not apologize for her abundance. This card is also deeply connected to self-worth. The Empress knows she is worthy of all good things simply because she exists. She does not need to earn love or prove her value. Your higher self is reflecting this truth back to you. You are worthy exactly as you are right now, not after you accomplish one more thing or fix one more flaw or become one more version of perfect. Your inherent worth is not up for debate. There is a strong message here about getting out of your head and into your body. The Empress is a deeply embodied energy. She is connected to the physical world, to nature, to her senses, to pleasure. Your higher self is saying that some of the clarity you are seeking will come through embodied practices. Maybe that is spending more time in nature. Maybe it is movement or dance. Maybe it is anything that gets you out of the mental realm and into felt experience. Truth lives in the body, not just in the mind. I am also picking up on creative projects or ideas that you have been sitting on. The Empress is a massive creative force, and she is asking you what you have been gestating that is ready to be born into the world. What idea or project or expression has been waiting for you to give it life? Your higher self is saying that now is the time to start nurturing these creative impulses. You do not need to have it all figured out. You just need to start. The Empress teaches us that creation is a process of tending and nurturing, not forcing and controlling. There is also something about relationships and connections becoming more fertile and abundant. If you have been feeling isolated or disconnected, the Empress promises that this is shifting. New connections are coming in. Existing relationships are deepening. You are being surrounded by people who appreciate and value you. Your higher self wants you to know that you are moving into a time where you will feel more seen, more supported, more celebrated for who you truly are. The fourth card is the Ten of Swords. And I know this card can look scary, but please hear me out, because your higher self has a really important message wrapped up in this energy. The Ten of Swords represents an ending, a final ending, the kind of ending where there is no going back. But here's what your higher self wants you to understand. Sometimes we need a complete ending in order to have a true new beginning. This card is showing me that something in your life has run its course. It might be a belief system, it might be a relationship dynamic, it might be a way of being in the world, it might be an old version of yourself. Whatever it is done, finished, complete. And your higher self is saying that this is not a tragedy. This is a liberation. Yes, endings can be painful, but they also create space for something new to emerge. What I find really significant about the Ten of Swords appearing in a reading about truth and clarity is that this card represents the moment when you can no longer deny reality. The illusions are shattered. The truth is undeniable. You are being asked to see something exactly as it is, not as you wished it would be or hoped it could become. This level of clarity can feel brutal, but it is also incredibly freeing. Once you stop fighting reality, once you accept what is, you can finally move forward. Your higher self is also showing me that you might have been betrayed or disappointed in some way, either by someone else or by your own expectations. The Ten of Swords often indicates a painful realization or a moment where you had to acknowledge that something you believed in was not what you thought. If this resonates, your higher self wants you to know that this painful clarity is actually a gift. It hurts right now, but it is preventing you from investing more time and energy into something that was never going to give you what you needed. There is also a message here about releasing victim consciousness. The Ten of Swords can sometimes indicate that we are telling ourselves a story about how wounded we are, how badly we have been treated, how unfair everything is. And while your pain is valid and real, your higher self is gently pointing out that staying in victim mode keeps you stuck. You have the power to choose what comes next. You have the power to rise from this ending and create something completely different. The swords may be in your back, but you get to decide if you stay down or if you pull them out and walk away. This card is also about mental anguish and overthinking coming to an end. All that rumination, all that mental torture you've been putting yourself through, it is reaching a conclusion. Your mind has been going in circles, replaying scenarios, analyzing every detail, trying to think your way to peace. But your higher self is saying that mental peace will not come from more thinking. It will come from acceptance and release. The Ten of Swords marks the moment when you finally exhaust yourself out of the mental loop and surrender into what is. The fifth card is the Chariot, and Virgo, this is where the energy completely shifts. After the endings and the painful clarity, you are being shown that you are about to move forward with incredible determination and focus. The Chariot is about willpower, direction, and victory. Your higher self is telling you that once you integrate these truths, once you accept what has ended, you are going to charge forward with unstoppable momentum. What I love about the Chariot appearing after the Ten of Swords is that it shows you are not staying down. You are not wallowing in the ending. You are taking the lessons, integrating the truth, and moving forward with purpose. The Chariot requires you to harness opposing forces and move them in a unified direction. Your higher self is showing you that you have the inner strength and discipline to do exactly that. This card is also about taking control of your life. No more waiting for perfect timing. No more hoping someone else will fix things. No more passive acceptance of situations that do not serve you. The Chariot says, I am taking the reins and I am steering my life where I want it to go. Your higher self is giving you permission to be assertive about what you want and need. You do not have to be aggressive or unkind, but you do need to be clear and direct. I am getting a really strong message about travel or movement, either literal or metaphorical. Something in your life is about to shift location or direction. Maybe you are physically moving or traveling. Maybe you are changing careers or starting a new chapter. Whatever it is, the Chariot promises swift progress once you commit to a direction. Your higher self is saying that all the pieces are in place. You just need to make the decision to go. There is also something about confidence and self-assurance. The Chariot is driven by someone who trusts their ability to navigate challenges. Your higher self wants you to recognize that you are so much more capable than you give yourself credit for. You have already survived so much. You have already overcome obstacles that would have broken other people. This next phase requires you to own your strength and trust yourself completely. The Chariot also brings a message about balance. Notice that the charioteer must balance the two sphinxes pulling in different directions. Your higher self is showing you that success will come from balancing different aspects of yourself or your life. Maybe work and personal life, maybe logic and intuition, maybe masculine and feminine energies. The key is not choosing one over the other, but learning to harmonize them so they work together to move you forward. The final card is the Emperor and Virgo. This is such a powerful way to end this reading. The Emperor represents structure, authority, stability, and leadership. Your higher self is showing you that you are stepping into your power in a major way. You are claiming your authority over your own life. You are building something solid and lasting. What your higher self wants you to understand is that after all this truth and clarity, after all the endings and new beginnings, you are being called to establish new foundations. The Emperor is about creating order out of chaos. He takes raw potential and gives it structure. He takes dreams and makes them real through disciplined action. This is what you are being asked to do now. There is a strong message about boundaries. The Emperor knows his boundaries and he enforces them without guilt or apology. Your higher self is telling you that part of stepping into your power involves getting really clear about what you will and will not accept in your life, who you will and will not give your energy to, what behaviors you will and will not tolerate. This is not about being rigid or controlling. This is about respecting yourself enough to protect your peace. The Emperor also represents taking responsibility for your life, not in a burdensome way, but in an empowering way. Your higher self is showing you that when you fully own your choices and your power, you realize that you have the ability to create the life you want. You are not at the mercy of external circumstances. You are the architect of your reality. This is incredibly liberating once you truly embrace it. I am also getting that the Emperor is about leadership, and not necessarily leading others, but leading yourself. Your higher self is calling you to be the CEO of your own life, to make executive decisions, to set the vision and follow through, to stop second-guessing yourself and start trusting your judgment. You have all the wisdom and capability you need. Now you just need to step fully into that authority. There is something about father energy or masculine energy coming through as well. Maybe you are healing your relationship with a father figure or with masculine energy in general. Maybe you are developing the masculine qualities within yourself like decisiveness, protection, provision, and structure. The Emperor shows that healthy masculine energy is not about domination. It is about protection, provision, and creating safe containers for growth. So Virgo, let me bring this all together for you because your higher self has painted such a clear picture. You have been stuck in indecision and avoidance, but it is time to remove the blindfold and face the truth. You are being called to lead with emotional intelligence and trust your intuition, not just your logic. An abundant and creative phase is opening up for you where you get to nurture your dreams into reality. Something has to completely end so that something new can begin. And while that ending might be painful, it is necessary. Once you accept this truth, you are going to move forward with unstoppable momentum and focus. And ultimately, you are stepping into a powerful leadership energy where you take full authority over your life and build the stable foundations you have been craving. This has been a long time coming, Virgo. Your higher self has been trying to get these messages through to you, and now you are finally ready to hear them. The truth and clarity you have been seeking is right here. It has been waiting for you to be brave enough to look at it directly. I would love to know if this resonated with you. Drop a comment and let me know which card hit the hardest or what truth you are finally ready to face. And if you found value in this reading, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe so you do not miss future messages from the universe. Sending you so much love and strength as you navigate this powerful time of truth and transformation. Remember, your higher self is always with you, always guiding you, always believing in your ability to rise. Trust yourself, Virgo. You have got this.